Good evening and welcome to the SRL GT4 live from the Hungaroring. This is round 5. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by the one, the only, Mr. Biggles is back with us here this evening as well. So Mr. Dean Biggles is going to be joining us for this one. So much love for him for jumping in here and lending a hand. But it is round 5, and it is the Hungaroring. 3 configurations previously of this circuit opened in 24th of March 1986. Currently on the Grand Prix circuit, 4.381 kilometers, 2.722 miles, 14 turns, and a 1:16.627 set by Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes W11 in 2020. Hope you all are well and can hear me happily, and there's no issues there as well. Phil, no sound. Can you hear me now? I'm hoping you can on that one this evening. So the track itself does hold the Formula 1 European Truck Racing Championship, the International GT Open, the FREC and the Euro Formula Open and the TCR Europe as well. So we've got 3.5 minutes left of practice here before we go into qualifying, which will be 10 minutes or 3 laps. Then we will have one 20-minute heat. Then we'll have a short little break. Then we'll have another 20-minute heat with a top 15 reverse. So it's going to be full action-packed here this evening as well. So welcome in. I hope you are all here. Thank you very much for joining us. I think it's time to bring Mr. Biggles back into the booth with me. And then, Dean, how are you, brother?
I'm good. Sorry, apologies. I had to miss half of that you were saying, James, because the director of the national airline here flew in on his helicopter again on the weekend. So it was super loud. It made a helicopter flying over top of my house because he just lands a couple of houses down the road. Sorry, that's why I couldn't hear anything, mate. The ultra rich, of course, well, get to fly with helicopter rather than driving. But I'm here now, and so as I said, I apologize. I couldn't hear half of that. But welcome everybody in the chat. Phil across the pond. You were second this time around, mate. Second. You got me last time, but I got you this time.
Yeah, unfortunately, can't beat Dean, I'm afraid. There, Paul, he's too swift for you. Phil, sorry, he's too swift for you as well. But what we can do is we can have a look at the championship here this evening from this SRL broadcast GT4 race. Jake Cranstone is currently out in front on 151 points. Andrew Lovesey in second on 119. Dexter Castro on third on 113 with Arthur Thirdle on fourth on 107. Derek Craver in fifth on 105, moved up one space. Alan McCain in sixth on 83 points. Alex May in seventh there as well. John Brown on 77. Kieran Gannon on 72. Christopher Barnes on 71. The biggest drop there was Dan Mould down 6 places on 70 points. Fraser Garrity on 69. Alan Brown behind him. So is Fraser Alexander, Alexander Longo, Stuart Gibbons, Eric Ronenberg, Ryan Dudley below that. Beyond there, we've got David Smith, Neil Stevenson, Rian Patton, Daniel Wareham, Elliot James, Craig Waters, Daniel Lewis, and Eugene Webber. So there you go, that is the current standings, and it's this gentleman here, Mr. Jake Cranstone, at the top of the championship, but currently sitting in third in the Porsche on a 1:52.20. So should be interesting. If practice is anything to go by, I think we could be in for a great race. There's 1 second between first and fifth, and then a further second between fifth and all the way down in 13th. So all very close together this evening as well. But we are at the Hungaroring, very difficult circuit to overtake at times as well. And there are some slippery corners that these guys are going to have to be careful with. But I think we could be in for an absolute cracking race. As we can see, Fraser Garrity there pointing in completely the wrong direction and coming back on track. So let's see how Fraser gets on. We've got no Jay Corley this week. Unfortunately for Jay, is currently doing the Raw. So Jay is off doing the Raw here as well as we come into the last 25 seconds. But we still have 22 cars on track. Absolutely smashing it out this evening as well. So look forward to this one. Well, difficult circuit, the Hungaroring, I think, for these drivers. And it's going to be interesting to see how they cope with it, I think, Dean, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not used to it so much for the GT4s and for the Formula 1s, of course. I am familiar with it. You said before, what was the driver doing? My apologies, we're coming down to the final flag here.
Doing
for
the
practice.
He's doing the Raw.
Raw.
Yeah,
What's the Raw?
The Raw is a event within iRacing. It's one of their special endurance events, I believe.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong.
I was just wondering where that was. Yeah, because I got confused on that. And maybe anybody in the audience got confused. I was answering the question for them. I might have to mute up in a second because that helicopter's going to come back over because he's dropping off the passengers and he'll be returning back over. So I might get really loud again.
Yeah, so it's a mixture of GT4s, TCRs, and the Toyota GR86. And it is currently... yeah, it's currently running. There's races up now, so see that's what he's doing. So it's like an endurance event that Jake Corley is off doing. Fraser Garrity is out on track for qualifying, closed qualifying here this evening. So see.
Aren't you doing a charity endurance event coming up soon? Will let people know about that? Or?
28th of January. We've got a 3-hour endurance with GT3s, MX5s, and GT4s. Not GT4s, GT3s, MX5s, and TCRs. So, yeah, that should be a good one for anyone who wants to get involved. You can. The Discord link will be down in the description. And you're more than welcome to come and get yourselves involved in that one. So it'd be great if you can, because I think it should be an absolute...
You said the 28th, right?
28th of January, yeah.
So... Yeah, I was going to say, don't do it on the 26th of February of January, my friend. That's Australia Day.
No.
All right, independence from your country.
No, we've got the 28th. 28th of January. Good. So you can get yourselves involved in that one if you so wish. And as I say, the Discord is down in the description below.
Are you going to broadcast the whole thing?
Yeah, we
commentate it.
We're having children. We've got some children signed up for commentators. So we're going to have some, because it's a children's charity we're doing it for the Rainbow Trust. So we're going to have the children coming into the booth to commentate. So
that's going to be fun. Yeah, let's see how they handle that.
Some are commentating on their fathers racing, so it should be quite eventful.
Hey, come on, Daddy! Come on, get in there, Daddy! Get the pedal to the metal!
Pretty much, yeah. But because we're doing it in aid of the Rainbow Trust, it's going to be that's where we're going to be doing it. So, Big Dreams, Little Voices is what the event and the Discord is called. The YouTube link is down in the description below as we wait. Now they've got a long old lap here. Fraser Garrity is on his first. He's done his out lap. He's now going round again. Chris Barnes is another.
Yeah, that's Barnesy in the chat.
Yeah,
Dad goes racing. Come on, Barnesy. That's Christopher Barnes, I presume, that you're looking at right now. That's the only person I could be calling Barnesy with.
It is car number 245, Chris Barnes in the Porsche Cayman. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys go. And they are very long laps here, like 1 minute 50. So they've got a long way.
Yeah. On the one car, you can do it a bit quicker.
Oh, considerably, according to the track record, mate. You can do it. You can do it a hell of a lot quicker. But you know, about 1:16.627, so a good 35 seconds plus, if not more, quicker. So yeah, but.
And if you get a chance, of course, here in Hungary, go to Budapest. If you ever do come down here, it's where East meets West. It's one of the most beautiful cities, and the cuisines of food is just absolutely outstanding. That I've heard. I haven't actually been, but he's told me that in the past. Yeah, you want a bit of the best of both worlds. Arthur could be the quickest at the moment, mate. Some of those purples, as you can see on your screen. 2 of them.
Yeah, it's coming around a final corner around turn 14. We don't have any fancy turn names here. We have just straight corner numbers, 1 to 14. So that will save a lot of us trying to pronounce the names. And Thurtle is going to go on pole on 1:51.835 currently at the moment. Stellar job from him. Absolutely stellar.
Yeah, all the purples on the fruity machine lit up for his car. Thurtle, not Turtle. Sorry, my apologies there, Arthur.
Arthur Thurtle. Yeah, he won't be too happy calling him a turtle.
No, he won't. He's not certainly at a turtle pace, that's for sure, mate. He's flying that thing around and, as I said, lit up all the fruity machine purples.
No, he definitely did do that as well. So he is currently in pole position. Poor old Arthur Thurtle, you calling him a turtle. He's not going to love you, is he?
Well, he's got the number 1 on his car. He's the quickest driver around here. I don't think he's going to worry too much about me, mate. He's going to be worried about how much of bubbly stuff he wants on the top step if he wins the race. This is plural, of course, because 2 20-minute heats.
Yeah, 2 20 minutes with a top 15 reverse for heat 2. So that's going to be a stellar one there as well. Derek Crowther is another man here as well. Derek Down currently in 9th place. Is in the Aston Martin. Now, I got the McLaren, and I haven't taken it for a spin yet, but I have thought about taking the GT4 for a spin. I'm just wondering how I'd get on with it, to be honest.
Oh, that's the McLaren, yeah, exactly. I'm going to say, because you got the Mercedes is a safety car in here, right? The Bentley's a safety car as well, too, for Formula 1.
Yeah.
So we know what Bernard Meyer, right, can pull lap times in the safety cars for Formula 1. So whether these drivers can do it, as you said, the McLaren. Interesting. That's all the manufacturers, of course, McLaren, Porsche, Mercedes, and Alfa, Aston Martin, and BMW. Don't forget about the German manufacturers in there.
No, he's not here tonight, though. We've got no BMWs on track. So.
Oh, no, we don't. You're right.
No,
yeah, sorry, my apologies.
No BMWs on track this evening. But we do.
I thought I saw one earlier. They dropped in and out. I did see one for a second.
You sure?
Just me. Yeah, maybe I'm seeing GT4 cars everywhere.
Right, Alan McCain. I have to remember it's not McCann, it's McCain. Here currently down at the bottom of the order in the Mercedes. See how he can do and how he gets on. We'll jump on
the
board.
Matrix Racing Matrix car there. So let's see if he's going to take the red pill or the blue pill. He's got to take this final corner. That's wow. I'm used to a Formula 1, mate, because they're flying around there, and it's just like driving Miss Daisy in these cars. But they're driving as fast as their ability, of course, as Ellen is. Lane up into P14.
Yeah, McCain in P14 going around turn 1. It does look so slow when you think about it in these cars. They do look, I think that's the thing, I've still not got it out on track. They do look quite heavy. You know, that's what I'm a little bit worried about. These cars do look quite heavy beasts to be able to get hold of, you know, and I think I'm going to have to commit some time to, not that I have much in my schedule, but this is where I'm expecting most incidents. Now, if you're wondering why, there is a drain that runs along the right-hand side there. There it is, the little metal drain, just on the edge of the green, and if you hit that, your car goes round regardless. So they will have to be careful coming out turn 4 and round through to 5 because of that drain on the right-hand side. It does cause some issues, and I have seen it cause some major issues in a GT3 race. So, yeah, from these drivers' point of view, they're going to have to be careful.
That's interesting. You can stay on board right now because it's giving us a good bird's eye view from the driver's cockpit. And What about the white in the sector 3? Those, I call them the chicanes of death. The white ones that lift your car up quite high. They're on this track.
No, they've got some quite sausage curbs that can cause a bit of a problem. That's mainly up at the chicane of 6 and 7. So they have got a little bit be careful as well. But that drain out of 4 now is really weird because you wouldn't think it would cause an issue. But as you run round 4, you're on the accelerator. The problem is when the tyre's on metal that it's got no grip on it, it does cause an issue. And I'll be surprised if we don't see anybody do it this evening. I would be quite surprised if we don't see anyone, as McCain is still in 13th place currently at the moment. He's done his 3 laps. Daniel Lewis is another man that currently hasn't. Daniel in the McLaren. He is in the McLaren. In the McLaren. So let's see what Daniel Lewis can do.
Yeah, you're right. And you know, the drains are there, James, because notoriously this track is one of the wettest on the calendar. If you remember, if you guys have watched Formula 1 races in the audience members, they're sliding down the hill there in the mudslides. That's what this track has produced in the past. Of course, unfortunately, as we know, iRacing doesn't have it yet, but I'll probably say there's a 50% chance of rain at this track, mate, in the future if we do get rain in iRacing, especially here at Hungaroring.
Now, there was talk about it coming. Certain people have gone into setups and have seen rain setups as well. So hopefully the rain is on his way in iRacing, which could cause, well, chaos, I think, at times.
A drain would be there, as the water runs down the hill. And apparently iRacing's got to really do that modelling too. Well, they're going to have puddles that do drain into those drains. Interlagos would be another tricky one as well. Yeah, that's it, mate, for the qualifying.
Yeah, so we've got Arthur Thirdle in first, Jake Cranstone second, Rian Patton third, Kieran Gannon fourth, Eric Ronenberg is in fifth, Fraser Alexander sixth, Alex May seventh, Craig Waters eighth, Neil Stevenson in ninth, Derek Craver in 10th, Dan Wareham in 11th, Christopher Barnes down in 12th place. Alan McCain in 13th, John Brown 14th, Stuart Gibbons 15th, Fraser Garrity 16th, Alan Brown 17th, David Smith 18th, Ryan Dudley 19th, Daniel Lewis 20th, Alexander Longo 21st, and Elliot James is in the final position in 26th place. So as you can see, guys, there as well. Right, stop doing things that I'm not asking you to do. That would be great. We have got a little bit of a pace lap. That's coming off the corner of turn 12. So 12 down into 13. So we'll have 22 cars rushing around the last corner, and then it's up to Arthur Thirdle when they go. So we'll keep an eye on when he makes that move, because I'm sure he will be doing it. Dad Goes Racing, solid quality session. Yep, Arthur Thirdle, Pippin, Jake Cranstone, Rian Patton in third as well. Excellent qualifying there for Patton, and Gannon down in fourth. So let's see how we go. I do love a good pace lap. I think it really spices up the beginning of a race.
Yes, well, it makes it easier for some of those cars that bog down from those standing starts that we've seen a little bit earlier, actually.
Yeah.
The series that we had. So now you don't have to worry about bogging down too much on this one. Pace cars, rolling starts, of course, it's all about just rolling your way in the right timing there and making a run, as you said, into turn 1 would be the key. As you can see on that track map, that is it's a kink. It's like they call it a paperclip, really, one of those paperclip corners. So massively overtaking opportunities, and then you can be definitely side by side as you make your way around the kink of turn 2, and then 3 and 4, of course, as you roll your way back up and you go uphill. So that's definitely one to look at, because these corners that they're currently going through right now in the third sector are sometimes overtaking opportunities. But here you go, James.
Yeah, Arthur Thirdle coming around the corner. He is side by side with Jake Cranstone. Arthur is now your lead car, and it looks like Thirdle's bolted already, and he has on that run down into turn 1. Arthur Thirdle has jumped. He's got about half a second already over Jake Cranstone. Rian Patton there. Jake coming off, cut off Rian's nose. But Eric Ronenberg looked like he was flying into turn 1 there. Managed to back off before he went into Rian Patton. But Ronenberg now trying to make that move down past Gannon. And as they get on that run down past 3. So far, so good. Everybody's, no,
mate, we had a massive crash at the back.
Massive.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. You saw the track map, and there was about 4 or 5 cars. There's one into the fence that has to back up. But we go back to that action, of course, in a little bit there for the replays. Still see how they make their way up the hill.
Yeah. this is kind of where it all kicked off with Dan Wareham.
That's 4 into 1. That ain't going to work.
No.
There it is.
Oh, and it's just everyone.
Nowhere to go. It's a car park at that point. You just got to close your eyes and just point it in one direction and hope that you get through there.
Yeah. Do you know the weirdest thing is, obviously I normally write down drivers' names that were involved in incidents as I go along, just so I know what they've been up to. But I've just put chaos for this one because there was just too many. Too many drivers, and I just put chaos. So I might have a quick scribble of the names here. As you can see, Eric Ronenberg being chased down by Alex May, Neil Silverson, Craig Walters swapping positions here as they're coming down into turn 12. Walters is now up into 9th place there, Biggles. But that was what could happen anyway, wasn't it, at the start? And it just proves that anything can happen even in different sessions. It was just a bit chaotic.
It's turn 1 and 5 into turn 1. You knew it was going to happen. I mean, some of the best drivers in the world, no doubt here, but it doesn't matter. Even the best drivers in the world can't do it in Formula 1 cars. I don't see how anybody else is going to do it in any other motorsport categories. But it's good to see for some of the drivers. It's a gain. For some of the other drivers, it's not. You can say, for example, the long haul in the French driver, I think 72 car, gained 7 from it. Elliot James gained 9 from that. So. But good thing about it, my friend, is that you also have a second heat with the reverse top 15, so you can have another opportunity at a little bit later. For now, but you still got time. Still have plenty of time to go.
Yeah, it looked like Daniel Lewis, Alan Brown and Fraser Garrity here. It looked like they may have come together again. Alan McCain is into the pits. Garrity is still running. He's got Alan Brown right behind him from SRL with David Smith. That's not Daniel Lewis. No, where are you? Stuart Gibbons out on the side of the circuit as well. So it's all going off on lap 1 as these guys go into lap 2 currently at the moment. And it's Stuart Gibbons in turn 1 again. What seems like he's had an issue, but there's quite a few little things going on.
Oh!
Just as I went to
This
the
is
replay,
you went to the replay. Yeah.
There's somebody in the wall. Was that Dan Smith? David Smith.
David Smith, yeah, that's the purple machine, the purple with the highlighted green rims, and he shouldn't have anybody behind him, but he's stuck. He's just not moving.
Yeah, Alpha Ferdo and Jake Cranston are still up in front currently at the moment with Ronenberg behind Alexander, but he's got May, Stevenson, Walters, Barnes, Brown all behind him currently as well. It looks like Ronenberg is, I'm not going to say being held up by Alexander because that's probably not the right term, but Ronenberg does look a little bit quicker than Alexander in this one.
Absolutely, you can see the Matrix machine there. And making a run out of the final corner down to start another lap in the track there. Hey, Tyler said, yes, it's Friday the 13th, exactly. I'm not going to say you're outside the window for Happy New Year, by the way. It's already gone, done and dusted. We're on the 13th of January. You head up to, I think, the first week. That's it. After that, you don't have any more. Too deep on the brakes there for Eric. Cost him a little bit of time now.
What do you mean it's too late?
No, there's a limit on your Happy New Year's. You can only do it a week after, in the new year. After that, it's over. You can't say it anymore. So that's my rule of thumb anyway. But it is Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the 13th, and there's a lot of drivers. Do you know the thing is as well, the funny thing is I managed to make through Friday the 13th without any issues. I'm dead happy with myself. So at the moment, touch wood, I don't have any issues. I want to find the Mercedes.
Running off the track there. Is that? That was Christopher
Barnes,
was it?
Yeah, Barnesy.
Yeah.
Was there as well. I want to find the event matrix Mercedes. Was it McCain? It may have been McCain who come up that inside. Because the 4 into 1, remember?
Yeah. I'll scroll back and have a look as well too, see if we get any of that information.
Because if you have a look here, we'll go on board the chopper. I'll jump on board with Alan McCain. McCain is on the right-hand side here. Look, he's got in on the right. He's in the Merc. He started
it was.
A little bit. Crowther went round in the blade designs, and then everybody else just kind of came together.
Yeah, because McCain was on the inside. It was 4 into that corner course. He was on the very, very inside, and that's not the racing line. So he had to brake a lot earlier. Unfortunately, couldn't brake just in time there, and gave a little bit of a tap at the cars behind there. They lifted off there and hoped everybody just peeled back out. It's practically the way it goes in motor racing. But, yeah. Mr. McCain is well aware of that one, but to off back into the box as well. I believe he jumped in the pit road, as well as David Smith that just jumped in there too. This battle, P13 brewing right now.
Yeah, Alexander Longo has had a little bit of a blink on the internet, so I'm wondering if Dan Wareham is being a little bit more cautious than probably what he normally would be. As you can see him disappearing again there. It's
because he's in P13, mate, on Friday the 13th, so he's in the unlucky number.
Yeah, as well. What happened to Dudley? It doesn't look like Dudley's he missed the start and is sitting down in 22nd place. He must have had an issue because he started 2 laps down. Toxic Munchkin. So, yeah, he started 2 laps down, so that could be an issue. But Fraser Garrity and Alan Brown from SRL.
Are they all from SRL?
No, Team SRL.
Yeah. Oh, no. Right, Ryan, of course, this is a 44 machine in the Mercedes you just mentioned there before. We all know who drives a 44 number in a Mercedes as well. Keep an eye on this battle that you'd mentioned. Yeah, see?
Yeah, well done you.
I think it's past me.
Well done you for pointing that one out. I'm just wondering, that's not normal Alan Brown's normal livery. And it looks like he has changed it. Has David Smith got... No, because they're in the same team. I suppose they haven't got the same livery. But up front, Thurtle and Cranstone.
Under pressure too now. Yeah. Big time, actually. So Jake can make a run here. Jake should be able to make a run. This is down your main straight away. Past the casting booth of James and Isby waving out the window. Is he too far to make a run? He's going to send a dummy here, but I don't think he's going to commit to it.
He is.
No.
Yep.
It's a dummy.
It's not.
Hit the exit button. Oh, you could have it here, James.
Yeah. Cranstone's got it coming out turn 1 on this run down in turn 2. Thurtle, the door.
Yeah, but he's going to be off the racing line, but that's the thing. You're going to follow 2 couple of right-handers, and the only way you're going to get it is swinging to the left here, but he had to back off behind, follow straight on through. So good driving from both the teams. As Arthur and Jake, and yep, covering it off. But that's what you're going to do. Apply the pressure, and that's what Jake is doing currently at the moment.
Yeah, he is as well. We have spoke about that drain just on the outside of turn 4 as well. Crowdfund Dudley a new steering wheel. Come on, Duds, rub that lucky sheep. And then Mark has put Dudley, you can make it back to the top. Let's go, Dudley. Well, unless there's something major, unfortunately, Ryan Dudley is 2 laps down, and Sven Young-Matheson there. Any hours you have some time off? Well, I'm actually getting the privilege of going up to the Autosport International in the NEC tomorrow, so I'm off tomorrow. Me and the wife are venturing out at 6 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, she's not overly impressed about having to get up at 5, but Alexander Longo, they're still...
Are you dumping the kids off and somebody else? Let's have this battle brewing here. Get back to that action with James's life story soon enough. Yeah, James get a break this weekend. I don't know why we allow him to get a break, but he gets one. Do you think do you think Derek will give a break to the car behind? That's going to be the question there of Longo.
No, he's not. Derek Carver's now going to move forward. He was involved in that turn 1 incident. And for Carver, he's now going to start trying to make his way forward. Thurtle, he's got Cranstone literally.
Another run.
Yeah, he's going to have a go at him. He's got to be looking. Thurtle's got to hug that inside line. Don't leave the door open. Because you can't leave the door open.
This will be a switcheroo if the 78 car can get a good power down exit. But once again, if you don't want to be swinging too much out to the right here, because you'll then, you can see goes out on the racing above. But you've got to commit all the way through here now. Don't tuck in behind. And has to tuck in behind because you've got to then swing it over to the right. That's your overtaking opportunity as well. Easier said than done watching it. But you have to say that Arthur is putting up a good defense there. He's parking that car in the right place to make it very difficult for Jake to find a way around.
I think, to be honest with you, I think that's the only thing he is able to do there as well. We've got Sven Young-Matheson in the JPB YouTube channel as well. There we go, look at that. Most hard-working commentator the world has ever seen. Oh.
That's true. I've verified that one. I work with James for about a third of the amount of casting that James does, and I know it's hard work, and I can imagine the hard work. And on top of it, he works a job and has a family, so you know that for a fact. Wish they give you an award for that, mate, for the Simi Awards.
Yeah, maybe, mate. But you know, when you've got so many balls up in the air and you're juggling loads of them. Hold on, I don't know if that sounds wrong or not, but I know what I mean. You know, it's a tough one. So, but we get there. We get there. I promise. It's only been 12 this week. I could do 14.
It's a circus
fine.
act.
2 a day.
Here we go. Yeah, look, you can see right now, Jake is. If you can go on board, Jake, actually, it'd be great to see from his perspective, because he's trying to throw the car around everywhere just to throw off, so that Arthur's mirrors are just full of the orange machine of Jake, and that's all you can do, isn't it? Psychological games, because it's difficult to overtake, as you mentioned. Another run down here. Is he going to do it? Is he going to try to commit to the inside? I think he's a little bit too far back this time around to the last of the late breakers into turn 1. But yeah, fill the mirrors up as the other battle. Still resuming here, of course. There's the pink machine there of Eric. That's the unicorn machine, I call it, because it's practically unicorn colours, isn't it?
Yeah, I will, however, say he doesn't want to be going onto that grass too often either, because otherwise if he starts breaking on that grass, he's going to have trouble, and it's going to cause him a problem there as well. They do have Ryan Dudley up the road, the leaders, so they are going to be possibly coming into lap traffic, depending on how fast that Dudley can go as well. Phil telling me I can't have tomorrow off because I've got Monday off as well. So Phil clearly wants to fill up my schedule as much as possible. Thank you very much, Phil, for, you know.
Unplug his alarm clock there, Phil, so he can't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and drive his way up to the expo.
Yeah, well, I've got about a 2.5 hour drive, so I said to the missus, we've got to get up at 5. I said, get ready, going. Oh, Gibbons.
Yeah, no. But then it could be side by side, turning to the right. If he could, he can't get the power down, can he?
Battle Cranstone, however, yeah, it's 2.5 hours up there, so we're going to get up at 5, leave by 6.
You going to let the missus drive, mate? She didn't like you driving too much, I heard.
No, she's not overly impressed with me driving, but she don't want to be driving at 5 in the morning, mate. It's got no hope. You know what I mean? Or 6 in the morning, so that's all me.
You know who's driving to try to surviving here is both of these two. They've got now a 1.8 second gap to the Porsche down the road there of Rian. He's in a little bit of a lonely race by himself, which is what you like sometimes of a lonely race. And there's a 5 second gap back to that squabble you can see for P5. Here we go, another run for the lead. Or not. He's closer than probably he has been before the passes. You're right on board there, you can see. Is he going to send a dummy? He's going to commit around the 8. So he's gone the racing line. So number 1's gone off the racing line to defend. Switcheroo. No, get on the power. You should be side by side around here. Now he's going to be on the inside line turning left. So this will be in Jake's favour. But then it will be back in to Arthur's favour as you swing it over to the left.
Yeah, he's got to try
right-hand corner, I mean.
He's got to try and stay alongside. I was going to lose that position.
Got it.
Cranstone got him on lap 8. That's not going to help either. Cranstone's internet blinking there as well. So Thurtle's got to be careful as they come into the fast left-hander at 4. They have, as I say, got to be a little bit careful round 4 before they start going around the long right-hander of 5. They do have Dudley just up the road. Dudley is obviously 2 laps down as well, but he is being caught in from these leaders. Now the question is going to be here, Biggles, whether or not Thurtle can stay with Cranstone. I think that's going to be one of the big questions.
Well, Thurtle just made a little bit of an error. He saw a puff of smoke coming out. You can see Aston Martin seems to be struggling in the dirty air on the Porsche. He is. It's in fact, it's actually bringing the other Porsche into play in P3 because he's now shaved that down within a second. So, yeah, Aston Martin looks good in the lead there in the clean air, but not very good in the dirty air. You can clearly see how he's struggling a little bit more there after getting overtaken by Jake.
Now, Craig Walters with Neil Stevenson and John Brown behind him. Let's see how we go. There's John. So who is it? It's Alan Brown. I was going to say John has got this lovely, almost honeycomb, bee-comb livery on that McLaren. And it does look absolutely gorgeous, I've got to be honest. From that point of view, look at that livery. It looks absolutely stunning.
I know. Well, James, overall, I have to say, like, looking through the field so far, there's been absolutely fantastic liveries. Give us a shout out there, Phil. And everybody else in the chat there, who do you think your favourite livery is so far? Which you've seen. We haven't seen all the cars yet, but if the cars want their liveries to be shown, get yourself closer in a battle.
Yeah, that's Kieran Gannon in front of us as well. He's got like a kind of a Minecraft block livery. Eric Ronenberg behind that, obviously. What?
It's a military livery, my friend. So he's camouflaged.
It's a Minecraft block livery.
Is it? I thought it was also similar to the livery that Red Bull used to use for the testing course back in the day, but that's more striped and blocky. Oh, you know you got kids and you're playing Minecraft, my friend.
Look.
I think Fraser's playing mind games right now with McLaren.
There you go. How much clearer do you need it? It's blocks.
I'm just saying, it's pixelized to me, mate. I'm seeing pixels.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. It's like a pixelized. Yeah, I know what I mean, but it is definitely.
That's the stream trying to unblock itself. It's got a little bit twirly-whirly coming out of the corner. Fraser's really applying the pressure right now. He says, "Get those bricks out of my way," so he can make his way up into P4.
Yeah, we've got some helpful information from Dad Goes Racing in YouTube chat as well. There he says, Aston Martin struggles with understeer when it's under half a second behind another car. I love driving it, but it can be very frustrating. Fraser Alexander, Kieran
3 into
Gannon.
1.
It's not going to work, is it?
Ooh.
They can't.
It could if they're cool, kind, and collect to each other.
Oh.
Somebody had to lift off, and that was your Minecraft car there.
Yeah, Gannon. Gannon lost there as well. He's come back through, though. Alexander got a little bit of a gentle oof, shall we say, from who was that in front of him? Eric Ronenberg. So, you know, rewind.
So it's like that song, you know, move, get out the way. You know, I'm not going to go onto that one, but you called it. See, Dadgo Racing called exactly what I said. Struggles in that dirty air for the Aston Martin. Thank you very much for that, Dad. As a race driver, you will be aware of that one. It just looked like that for me on the pictures, even though I'm not a driver. Ooh. And as you can see, Eric got a little bit on the loud pedal too much coming out of the corner, but still putting in the right direction.
It definitely is. It's going to be just, I don't think Kieran Gannon's going to give this up very, very easily. Just so the leaders are just about going. I'm going to presume that was actually Ryan Dudley out of the way. It was Dudley out of the way, lets the leaders through of Cranstone, Thurtle and Patton. And then we've got Ronenberg, Alex May, Kieran Gannon here. Alex May.
This is your time to shine, mate. A couple of minutes left now.
Yeah, 2 minutes remaining. They're going to have, well, next time round will be the final lap of the race. Fraser Alexander. What's he going to be able to do in that McLaren? Can he get onto the back of the Merc? The Merc does look good as well. It was a toss-up for me between the Merc and the McLaren. They were the two I was looking at to buy it. It was a toss-up between the two of us. Stuart Gibbons here gets past Alexander Longo, goes round the outside, mind you. Oh,
doesn't get it done, but one too deep. Yeah.
Oh,
there's a spin out. That's Jack. You're right. I think that's the no, further back was the SRL. Have a look at Craig. You can see him right there. Oh yeah, too deep into the corner. Doesn't tag anybody, thankfully, but drops like a couple of places down to P11 currently at the moment now.
Yeah, I will say John Brown and Chris Barnes are side by side. They were side by side during that incident as well. There was a little bit of contact between Barnes and Brown. So Barnes and Brown had come contact there as well. It looks like Barnes is going to make this through. We are on the final lap of the race here for Craig Walters.
Should have more straight line speed, but on the McLaren. But the Porsche, of course, is way better in the cornering.
This is it for Jake Cranstone. Is he going to be able to finish this off with Arthur Ferdle? Only 2 taps back, but this is Brown and Barnes. As these guys currently going around turn 2. This is the battle for 9th place here this evening.
You need to get a great exit on these straightaways because that's where the performance is on those machines, as I mentioned. Porsche's is just a great, cornering car. It's probably the best, but straight line speed always sacrifices a little bit for that cornering.
Yeah.
Aston Martins, and as you mentioned as well, to unrank great the dirty air. I'm not quite sure how the Mercedes pan out, but the Mercedes looking pretty spicy right now, but he's gone too much deep into the exit there, and will probably just spoil the opportunity of getting an overtake done more than anything else to defend against Fraser behind him.
Yeah, these guys have got about a quarter of a lap remaining, and it's Cranstone out a quarter of a lap. We've got less than that, about 5 corners. Cranstone is out in front. It looks like he is going to come round and take a victory here in race 1. And it's going to be Jake Cranstone coming round the final corner. Here we go. Cranstone now takes the victory. Thurtle in second. Rian Patton coming across the line in third place. Eric Ronenberg is going to be coming over the line for fourth. Kieran Gannon fifth. Alex May just on that rundown. Sixth place. Fraser Alexander, Neil Stevenson there as well. Chris Barnes and John Brown. Oh, John Brown just misses out. Craig Waters in the Mercedes comes over in 13th place there, but it was Jake Cranstone, your victor here in race 1. Don't forget top 15 reverse. So Jake will go all the way to 15th place. Now that's going to make some interesting movers and shakers as the race goes on, isn't it, Biggles? Because the reverse grid always brings a different kind of excitement.
Absolutely does. You got to give it to Elliot James too in P12. He gained 10 positions in the number 14 car Aston Martin, and will be looking solid for that reverse grid now, because he's going to be starting on the second row for that race. So that's a great way to finish a race with those gains.
Yeah, it does, definitely does. Alan McCain there at the back obviously was involved in the fracas, should we say, at the beginning. There was a total of how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars involved in the turn 1 incident. But let's bring you up the results here this evening. Come on. You can do it.
Come on, results. You can do it.
It's even worse than not wanting to come up. Come on.
He's just waiting for the final trigger point, I believe. I've seen a couple of those audience members. You see a couple, there's one guy that's got his fist up in the air. There you go, you got the results.
Jake Cranstone is in first, Arthur Fertel in second, Rian Patton third, Eric Ronenberg fourth, Kieran Gannon fifth, Alex May sixth place, Fraser Alexander seventh, Neil Stevenson eighth, Chris Barnes in ninth, John Brown 10th, Craig Waters down in 11th, Elliot James down in 12th, Dan Ware on 13th, Derek Carver 14th, Fraser Garrity 15th, Alexandra Longo down in 16th, Daniel Lewis 17th, and Stuart Gibbons in 18th, Alan McCain in 19th, David Smith 20th, Ryan Dudley down in 21st with Alan Brown down in 26th place. So there we go. Right. Brief little respite for us here as well. Reverse grids can be somewhat chaotic, but they can bring some of the greatest action for ages.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure it will as well, too, because the drivers that were clearly the quickest in this first race and now have to fight their way back through the field there from 15th and onwards. And of course, hopefully just crossing their fingers and dotting their T's and crossing their T's and dotting their I's into the first couple of turns there that everybody else survives through there. And if cars are spinning around the wrong direction, etc., etc., you know what happens? It's a motor race, as Michael would say.
Yeah, definitely as well there. Dan, once the GT4 season is over, which will be in 2 weeks' time for round 6, they'll be hosting a Toyota Friday Night League. So if you want to get yourself involved in that one, the Discord links are down in the YouTube descriptions. Get yourself involved, come across and get yourself some lovely Toyota Friday night action, which should be absolutely incredible. But round 6 is at Catalonia. So I've got a whole next on the 27th of January, so in 2 weeks' time. So there we go.
Spain, is that Spain with the pain?
Yes.
Or Spain without the pain? That's the thing of that Formula One test track.
Yeah, and then we've got the TCRs kick off on the 20th, which is next Friday. They are going, opening round of the TCR calendar kicks off at the Red Bull Ring as well, the full Red Bull Ring Grand Prix circuit. So you've got the TCRs events kicks off next week, and you've got the GT4s coming off 2 weeks after that. And then, of course, we're doing the Toyota Fun League after the GT4's finishing, so get yourself involved as well, and you can come and have some fun down with the SRL. They are, as you say, Discord is down in the description below. Get yourself joined in, get yourself involved in some of this absolutely epic racing here that you'll see in this evening, because it is going to be a definite fun one here as well over on the JPB YouTube channel and the SR TV YouTube channel as well. So much love for both of you. Don't forget, give the videos a big old thumbs up, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to both channels and turn on the bells for notifications, because you're not going to want to miss any of this action that's coming up for you here. We've got Alan McCain out on track. Somewhat... Derek Crowther's incident in that race was on the outside. That looked like a completely different incident. I'm not quite sure who he touched there, but it did look like he touched somebody. But McCain was definitely the main protagonist for the inside incident, wasn't he?
Too deep into turn one. Yeah, he was right on the curb, and which is the opposite to the racing line. And I'm sure he's aware of it because, you know, at that point, that speed there, and you also remember cold brakes too, probably colder tires, because you're starting that race at that point to that corner. It's just a little bit too deep. That's it. Simple as that. You know, a little bit of a lock up there. Trying to avoid accidents, no doubt. Not trying to. You're not sending a bomb straight into that corner. Otherwise, it wouldn't even break at all. It's just it, because you also want to try to get an opportunity. Yeah, but that's a difficult location to get it done. I've seen it done before, and hey, if it pays off, it pays off. But yeah, right, risking it for the biscuit.
Yeah, I want to bring something up here as well. Dan in chat, TCR is full grid lockout with 37 cars. 37 cars in the TCR League that starts next Friday, and then it's politely put underneath, James is going to be busy. Well, thank you very much for that.
7 cars, exactly.
37 cars. So we are going to have Fraser Garrett. He's going to lead us off with Deck Crowther in second, Dan Ware on third, Elliot James fourth, Craig Waters in fifth, John Brown sixth, Chris Barnes seventh, Neil Stevenson eighth, Fraser Alexander in ninth, Alex May 10th, Kieran Gannon 11th, and then Eric Ronneberg is in 12th place, Rian Patton 13th, Arthur Foytel 14th, Jake Cranstone 15th, your top three there, 13th, 14th, 15th, Longo 16th, Daniel Lewis 17th, Stuart Gibbons 18th, Alan McCann 19th, David Smith 20th, Ryan Dudley 21st, and then Alan Brown down in 22nd. Well, Dudley's made it onto track this time for the Dudley supporters, so let's see how he can get on here this evening. But Ryan Dudley is tucked up at the back of the grid there, but he did make it, so that's always important. Now, I'm expecting big things from these front two, right? Partly because I think it could go off between Fraser Garrett and Deck Crowther. I'd be interested to see how these guys pan out here.
My eyes to keep an eye on Elliot James. As I told you, Elliot James was clearly one of the biggest performers in previous races, was the biggest gainer. Now Elliot James is going to be starting in P3 in the Aston Martin. And we do know that the Aston Martins are quite quick around here. Of course, they're the Porsches, so you've got the Porsche behind him, you've got the Porsche leading the race. And of course... Yep, go ahead.
Garrett has gone already. He went earlier on. He come off that last corner and he literally floored that car. And Crowther wasn't anywhere near him. Now, I want to keep an eye on this middle pack. Look at them all. Kieran Gannon's getting all out of shape. Are they all going to survive? There's literally a full stop there. It looks like Fraser Alexander literally just brought that McLaren to what seemed to be his stop. Ronneberg's on the outside, being pushed around a bit by Arthur Fertile. Fertile's trying to make moves. He's definitely sending that Aston Martin somewhere, and he's making gaps that aren't necessarily there. But at the moment, Fertile is making gaps, and I'm sorry to say for you.
I was going to see this timing towers. Yeah. Oof.
5 cars involved. Gibbons.
And coming back on track. Now it's getting a little dirty.
Rian Patton and David Smith. Chris Barnes in the pits, Stuart Gibbons in the pits, David Smith in the pits. I am not sure. Let's try to unravel this one. Well, let's see what happens here, because it all goes off around this middle section. I want to jump on with Rian Patton in the cockpit as well. That's the start of it. Rian Patton is already gone, but it's here. Now, we can see the car out of our right-hand window, can't we? No? No. Maybe we can't.
Yeah. Oh, it's hard to say because the car's coming around. Even the dogs are barking about this one. That's how hyped they are. Okay, believe it or not, Arthur's now on the P6 with all that carnage. And Jake, who won the previous races, in P8. And you can see there's only a car between them, and maybe that might be changing anytime soon as we're back to the live pitches. And here they are. It's the Arthur and Jake show, as well as his on the outside. Is that Craig?
Yeah.
Alex May.
Actually. Alex May's out there, yeah. He's on the outside as well. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some inquiries into the rejoin of Ryan Patton. But Alex May he's almost a meat in the sandwich here between Arthur Fertile and also Jake Cranstone.
And then you go further up the road there, you've got Dan and John Brown battling it out for the P3 position, and right on cue there, James, as you can see.
See how this one settles down. Dan Wareham, John Brown in the McLaren. John is looking like he's on a bit of a mission, I'm not going to lie. He's got Crowther in front of him as well, Garrity in front of that, but it's looking like Brown could be the one making the moves. He's gained 3 already after the start. He's up 3 positions, but no one is near Arthur Fertile. However, Dudley, your man Ryan Dudley in chat is in 9th. He's up 9 places. Another one, because Stevenson's in the wall. So Dudley is up 10 places and he's in 11th place. Go on, bloody, go on, Ryan Dudley, son. Have some of that, he says.
We get done. I'd like to see that. Yeah. Oh, well, my prediction, of course, Elliot James is it's all pole show for him. He's running down there in P18 right now for the biggest gainers in the first race. So further back, this action. You had to say you're right about that, John Brown. That McLaren is super, super quick in the straights for sure, with the straight line speed, just dominating 3 positions gained, but then again losing a little bit of time in the corners right there. You can see, and so much time lost there that Dan almost lost it and hit the back of him a little bit.
Yeah, Dan Wareham locked up there, unfortunately. Now for Dan, he's off the racing line. Thurl Cranstone are throwing everything at each other. Dan Wareham is going to be side by side with Craig Waters tucks in behind him, Thurl tucks in behind him, Cranstone's flashing, he's not happy about something. He's angry at the moment, is there as well. Cranstone, he's looking, he's not going to be taking that outside line, surely. Oh, he's trying it, here comes Thurl now. Cranstone literally side by side on this run down into turn 2. Cranstone's on the inside. How is this one going to play out now? Is he going to bully Arthur Fertile out of his lunch money and out of that position of 6th? He is. Thurl's going to come back and says nope. The biggest way with a deal with a bully is giving him it all. He's back to him. But John Brown is trying to get Crowther. Oh, mate. Look at Fertile and Cranstone here, Biggles. They're still side by side.
Yeah, because between these two gladiators, that's because they had the resuming that battle that happened at the start of the first race, because they went for a 2 for now, and Arthur wants to get this one back there for. He doesn't want Jake to beat him twice. They are 9 positions and gained, and what's happening here? The problem is there's other cars on the road everywhere around them. They're clearly a little bit quicker. 73 car's going to come into play now. That's Dan.
They are going for it in this mid-pack. Literally, the wives are sat next to them in the car. They're chucking ladles, sibs, and everything else out of it at the moment as well. Bar the car, there's a big send from Alexander O'May. He's going to be making it through this time. Is he? No, he comes back the other way. But Fertile, Cranstone, Wareham's round in front of Fertile. Oh, Fraser Alexander comes on the inside as well, but Fertile and Wareham. Oh, go round, and that's going to put Fertile 3 positions back from Cranstone at the moment.
I think he's going to let Fertile through. I think it's because they realize it's a my bad situation. There it is. So maybe a little bit of sportsmanship. So he does go back through. Or because the 73 car, wasn't it? I think it was, of Dan that went a little bit pearl-shaped there. And I think there is a bit of sportsmanship going on here. They are realizing there's a couple of my bad situations, and so that they are kind of allowing those cars to resume some of those positions there. But unfortunately, it's just allowed Jake now to get a little bit further back up for any chance there from Arthur Fertile to catch him. That little 2-horse race that we had in the first race the season. Session.
First session, there we go. But I want to see what Waters is going to do here. How hard is he going to defend this? Because the track lends itself to big defending, but you've got to be consistent through the corners to be able to get on the defensive line straight away. And I think that's the thing for Waters. What he's got to do is be consistent with that throttle. He's got to be gentle with it, but he's also got to defend as well. Cranstone, flashing Waters there as well. Defend the inside.
Yeah, I don't know why he's flashing, but because hey, Craig doesn't have to move over, my friend. It's racing. You got to get past him.
Yeah, no, it's a full ball race. He doesn't have to move. You've got to do it.
Of course.
There's no way that Waters needs to move over, and I don't see why Waters has to. If I was Waters, I'd park that car. I would literally be hugging every inside line I could possibly get, making sure I can get the exits out.
I think Jake might be doing it in frustration. Go, look, I'm clearly quicker, but then again, there are quicker cars and quicker drivers, but Craig doesn't have to. Yeah, Craig got to defend it.
Exactly. He's entitled to defend.
Championship.
Look, he's still flashing there. I'm not entirely sure if I'm entirely happy about, I get the flashing once to say, hey, I'm here, but consistently like that, I don't know.
I wonder if there was a little incident earlier that he was upset about, and he's still trying to remind Craig about that we didn't necessarily catch on the camera. But either way, it's nothing's going to change at this situation. Craig's not going to just pull across and let him through. If he would have done that already, if they would have felt he did something wrong.
No, if I was Waters, as I say, I'd be defending that position for my life. There's no need to move over, none whatsoever. It's racing, and he's got 11 minutes still. I
think too, James, that he's also aware he's got a bit of a buffer. He's got Alex between him and Arthur. Because Arthur Thirdle, that was his main contender that they were racing with before. Because Arthur's just set the fastest lap before. Arthur's on a rampage back.
He's got to get that door shut, Waters, otherwise he's going to be down losing that now. He's either got to make some gains trying to go forward and bring Cranstone into John Brown in front of him, because otherwise it's not going to work.
Oh, he's going to go for it now because there's a twirly-whirly moment.
Yeah, but
he's got to the outside, tuck in.
He's got to tuck in, isn't he? These guys are now on that run down into turn 12. Just
he's got to try to outbrake him, because I'd have to say the Porsche should be a little bit better through the corner, but then they're both Porsches.
It's a 13.
Yep. And if you look in the background, Arthur just overtook that car, so Arthur's now hunting him down.
Gannon.
And there's an accident.
Wareham and McCann come together again.
The replay.
Oh, Gannon.
Dan's been in the wars in that 73 car a few times here this evening now, hasn't he?
Poor old Dan Wareham. He's been involved here, and he's been involved once again.
I'm not sure Dan will be getting any I was going to say Christmas cards this year from the other drivers.
I don't think there's going to be much love there. I've got to be honest. Poor old Dan Wareham. He's had a bit of a rough one of it. Alexander.
Of course, but as I say, mate, it takes two to tango. Three to party.
Yeah, it definitely does that. But all the while, Ryan Dudley is up into 8th. Fraser Alexander behind him, but it is Dudley in the Mercedes in 8th place currently at the moment. So Fraser Dudley doing a stellar job here as well. So Ryan
and
Dudley.
Arthur on Waters. Craig is now. Arthur's going to try to dispatch of Craig that eventually Jake did. Then once again, if you're a race engineer there, spotter of Jake, you'd calm Jake down there for a second. He was getting very, very frustrated with Craig. Let's see at the moment how Mr. Arthur can handle Craig, because Arthur is clearly the quickest driver on the track. He had the fastest lap before, and now he's setting the fastest sectors. But the problem is right now he has the SRL car of number 7 up the road.
Yeah, he's got John Brown in front of him here as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how that one goes as well. What could Brown do? Can he do anything about Cranstone? Can he defend? He's going to have to just literally, as the saying goes, he's got to literally just park the bus, I think, on that one to be able to basically stop Cranstone coming through, because if he doesn't, Cranstone's going to have a go at him down the straight. He's got to block that door off. You've got to give up with the flashing.
Okay. Excellent. Come get out of my way. I don't understand. John doesn't have to. John's going to make a run more than anything right now on deck.
He's going to go around the outside in turn 1. Crowther, the difference is though, Cranstoun could look at coming back on him. As he's gone around turn 1 now, on the run down to 2, you've got John Brown on the right, Crowther on the left. Nobody's going to make it through as they go around turn 2. Brown's got to try and find a way of either getting past Crowther or he's got to slot in behind him, because otherwise he's going to get himself all out of shape and Cranstoun's going to be making a move. But they're going to be a slight little bit of contact. Crowther.
And you know what this is doing, James? I was going to call you Jake there for a second. Keep an eye on this. Because Arthur just got past it, cleared the car. Look, Arthur's going to be at the back of this party anytime soon as well, too. And I think that's more what Jake is worried about. He's more worried about Arthur. I thought Turtle behind him.
Turtle. Oh.
Turtle. There it is. Here we go.
Oh, Turtle's in it now. 2 by 2. Yep. It's like watching Noah's Ark and the animals. I'll tell you that much, mate. Oh, this is getting spicy. I've had to stand up now. I can't sit down any longer.
You'll be sitting down for a couple hour drive later on today, mate. So, yep, stand up and enjoy the show here, because you've got about 7 minutes and change to go. This great racing action.
Berto's got to get in there. Ronenberg, the problem is Ronenberg's on his way as well. Don't leave the door. Crowther's going to leave that door. Cranstoun said thank you very much. Berto, that's it. Oh, Cranstoun, Crowther. You left the door open, son. Unfortunately, your TV's gone, your sofa's gone, and you've just been robbed because you've done it again, and Ronenberg's going to come and take you as well. If Crowther's not careful, I tell you what, mate, there is going to be some bullying going on here as well. But John Brown stoutly defending in that McLaren. Cranstoun's looking at the inside. Oh, John, that's just... Might as well send him an invite to the party there, mate. That door was wide.
I think Arthur might be able to sneak one up here as well soon if if John doesn't do something about this. John, mate, let him burgle your TV and anything else, mate. Just don't let him burgle your Fanatec wheel or your racing rig. That's the main thing you want to protect right now.
Yeah, just don't let him have that position, mate. You can take everything else out your house. Just don't give him this position. Don't give him this second place. Cranstoun's climbing all over him, I'll tell you that much. It is literally John Brown in first, Cranstoun second, Fertel's third. Fertel's gone. Let's go back.
Contact!
Oh, it's gone round.
They're all going to go around.
Oh, no.
That was inevitable with the pace difference. And look at this.
Oh,
I didn't even think, I don't think Jake can even get around, because John's just sit there for a second and just like, what just happened? He's got the wind knocked out of him. They are back at it, so here we go. Jake and Arthur resuming these couple of positions dropped now, of course, but they're back at the action between these two Siamese twins almost on track, isn't it? They're inseparable.
Oh man. We can have another.
Frazier at the moment leading this race is just like, what is going on behind me? He's got a 3-point-something second gap.
Everything, isn't he? Fraser is out there just missing everything. Watch, here comes Turtle on that run into 5. And he just looks like he goes in. And poor old Brown must have just been sat there thinking, hold on a minute, what are you doing? Why am I facing the wrong way? Oh, I'd nothing to do
because he
with
got
that.
bumped by the trio. It was basically instigated, wasn't it, by Arthur. Went a little bit deep in there. He tapped the back there at Jake, and Jake then tapped the back of Alan Brown. Because they're all trying to get the opportunity, because it's hard to overtake, and they're trying their best to do it. Why not? If gap car.
Oh, I just feel sorry for Alan Brown.
Yeah, Alan's just sitting there going, hey, what did I do wrong here, guys? I invited you to this party. I didn't expect you to crash it.
Brown was there just enjoying himself, and then all of a sudden he's just going round with a Jake Cranstoun Porsche, orange Porsche coming into the back end of him. And he was doing such a good job as well. Such a good job.
You got to understand, he was like, he's almost on a 2K rating. These guys are only more like 4K, 5K ratings.
It was John Brown. It wasn't Alan Brown. It was John Brown. John's on nearly 1,500. And obviously Cranstoun and Turtle are nearly 9.4K between the two.
That's what I'm saying. So clearly he was out of his class, but he was doing a great job defending against him.
Mate, he was doing absolutely stellar. All he had to do was just try and stay there. It was just like... It was just unfortunate. But the thing is, as well...
Got bullied.
He got bullied, didn't he? Yeah, he got his lunch money stolen. And some kids just nicked his packed lunchbox, unfortunately. But look who's up into 6th place. Your man, Ryan Dudley, is up into 6th. 15 places gained for Dudley. And now he's got the ever-looming Cranstoun behind him.
Again. Ryan just at the right, yeah, it wasn't the right place at the right time at the start of the race, but he just sat back there and said, okay, you guys go for it, steal each other's lunch money, and I'll see you after class with 15 positions gained. And I have to say too, we've got to remember too, at Eric, we haven't seen too much of the 17 car running a couple of seconds down the road, but Eric has gained 10 positions there comfortably in P2. Not really comfortably because he's got Craig Waters behind him.
Yeah, if anybody's got hold of Ryan Dudley, tell him not to do that. Don't do what you're doing because you're bringing that vortex in. And that V, every time you enter into that corner, mate, you can't believe in that V because it's like an invite. I'll tell you that much. It's like an invite for somebody at Cranstone. Get over. Dudley's got to put it against the wall. You've got to hug that white line tighter than my daughter hugging her teddy bear. I'll tell you that much, mate, because otherwise you are not going to get done here. Cranstone's going to do you. Coming down into turn 1 now. Dudley's touch.
Ryan's got to hope. Ryan's got to hope at the moment. You just got to, don't focus on your mirrors. You know that these guys are just going for it tooth and nail. You got to finish your own race. You got a couple of minutes to hold them off right now. That's the key. Don't think about what happened with Alan Brown before on the team rodeo there.
The worst thing is as well, they look like they're all in the Discord together. And the only one that I can't actually know, Jake's in there as well. So they're all in the Discord together here. So this is going to be interesting. Dudley's in there as well. If only you can hear what we're saying.
I'd love to spy on it, mate, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple it's going on that we can't show on the air.
Definitely on that one. Dudley's got to park the car as he's coming into the chicane at turn 5, at turn 6. He's got to go. You've either got to go or you just got to let him go. Oh, he
let him go. He let him go. Yeah, Ryan did. Allowed space.
Oh, Dudley's down in 7.
Is he going to help out Arthur? Is he going to help out Arthur more than anything, isn't it? Because Arthur clearly wants to get Jake. That's the interwar battle between them.
He just needs to let him go. Let Bertle go. Because I'm big on defending, don't get me wrong, because obviously you can see...
But Ryan, let him go, because there's a good chance that they'll take each other out and you can reclaim those positions that you claimed before. Yeah. He did. He did.
Don't send it on him. Don't send it on him. Oh, Dudley, keep it out.
There's only a minute to go. Maybe you should have done it a little bit earlier, isn't it? Because it was, I mean, judging by, Arthur and Jake, how close they were, there's always a good chance that they're going to tango. But fortunately, with under a minute to go, I don't think there's going to be enough time for that.
Last lap of the race, we're up front with Garrity and Ronenberg. I think this is going to keep going all the way through.
What's Eric going to do? He has to do a fully send somewhere around here now.
Yeah, he's got to full send that Porsche Garrity, because otherwise he's never going to get a hope round here in turn 2. He's in the right position. He needs to run that car a little bit wider on that entrance into 3 to be able to get the line tucked up beside him, behind him into 4. All he's got to hope now is if Garrity goes out, touches that drain hole, and he's gone. Crowther's trying to get past Walters behind him. It's not going to happen at the moment, but Garrity now, he's got to be trying to get round. He's coming up round 5 before they go into the chicane of 6 and 7. There isn't going to be many opportunities unless he takes that run from 11 to 12 to give him a go.
Yeah, no, can't get him through the hairpin there, through the S's. Yeah, not many overtaking opportunities now, because you've got a couple of long straightaways, and obviously they're both in the same machines, essentially. We got the Aston Martin, but the Aston Martin, it's not going to be good in the dirty air. We saw that before. I think Fraser's got it.
Yeah, I think Garrity's going to get this. I've got a funny feeling Garrity's going to take this victory in race 2. I can't see where Ronenberg can get through between the last 2 corners, and the only thing he can do now is possibly run that Aston Martin up the inside. Garrity's going to be tucking that up, saying, no, if you're going to opportunity, you've got to run around the outside to get the inside from 14. You're going to have to put the throttle down, mate, otherwise it's never going to happen. It's not. You haven't got it.
Because, see, Eric, power slide out of the corner. Over to you, mate. Fraser's got it.
Fraser Garrity's going to finish this off. Ronenberg's going to be in 2nd place. And then Walters is done an excellent job there. Craig Walters up 2. Ronenberg up 10 as he comes across the line. How did this one pan out? It was Cranstone flashing the lights there, mate. You can do that because you finished the race this time. Alan Brown coming across the line. Kieran Gallen. John Brown.
Good on Ryan. I have to say, for allowing it, but he should have done it a little bit early, because there's a good chance that they would have probably collided and he would have gained those positions. But here we go, still continuing the race. Of course, it ain't over yet until the checkered flag is waving for these drivers.
Longo and John Brown round the final corner. This is going to be a sprint McLaren finish. And it's Brown. Brown got it. Longo. And then poor old Dan Wareham, he got himself involved in right little hullabaloos this evening. Poor old Dan. And then
He's had a few martinis.
Yeah.
Too many martinis is Neil.
He clearly has, but Fraser Garrett, he took the win. Ronenberg in second and Walters in third as we wait for the rest of the cars to come through. Well,
I think the chat at the moment is all gasping for air, my friend, because they've been quiet for a little bit because they're just as hyped as we are as to how it was all going to pan out at the end.
Yeah, definitely thinking it was going to be a close one, but I didn't actually think it was going to be that close, battling all the way down. As we can see now, Stevenson coming across the line, Barnty down in 19th place. So there you go. But here will be the results, hopefully not as long as the last one. And there we go. So Fraser Garrity is your winner. Eric Ronenberg in second. Craig Walters third. Deck Carver fourth. Alex May fifth. Jake Cranstone sixth. Arthur Ferdle seventh. Ryan Dudley up 13 places. One of the biggest climbers with Alan Brown behind him in 8th and 9th. Stellar job from him as well. Kieran Gannon in 10th. Alan McCann in 11th. Fraser Alexander 12th, Daniel Lewis 13th, John Brown finished 5th, 14th overall in the end after being in that Cranstone third. Well, completely unexpected for Brown, wasn't it really? I don't think he was expecting Cranstone to come and join the back end of him, Biggles, was he really?
Oh, yeah. As I said, he invited them to the party and they crashed it, unfortunately, a little bit too much. They left him with, you know, you wake up in the morning and your whole house is trashed because you had a massive party that night before. That's how it must be feeling right now.
Yeah, Alexander Longo in 15th. Dan Wareham got himself mixed up in things in race 2. So did Elliot James right at the beginning. Neil Stevenson 18th. Chris Barnes 19th. David Smith 4 laps down in 20th. Rian Pound, Stuart Gibbons 10 and 11 laps down there as well. Driver of the day has got to be Dudley for driver of the race. What do you think, Beals?
Yes. Ryan in the Merc. Ryan Dudley finishing in P8, 13 positions gained. In this race as well, I mean, we had to forget, Eric as well, too. We didn't show too much of Eric Ronenberg in the Aston Martin, getting 10 positions. Remember that, keeping his nose clean, and if you're not getting too much camera time or air time on you, that means you're just having your own nice little lonely race. He put a bit of pressure there right towards the end, didn't he, on Fraser? He just needed a few more laps, I'd say, to get it done. But Fraser, of course, is a lower I rating. He's a 2.4K compared to some of the other drivers around him, and Eric has a 4.4K I rating. So reverse grid helps out some of the drivers sometimes.
Yeah, I just want to have a look back at this incident. That's John Brown in front. We're going to see, obviously, he's going to go... John's going to be caught up in a minute. I'm going to look on the nose. I want to see how much damage, how much touching there actually was there. There goes Cranstone.
Would have been net code too, but then he got bumped. No, he got bumped from behind. Remember?
Yeah, he got dumped from behind.
So we were on board with that. There was a three-way. I believe it was Arthur that tapped the back of Jake, that then tapped the back of
John.
26 car, wasn't it? John, yeah.
It was.
So I think that's what they called that bumper collision. Like, you know, you're at the theme park playing bumper cars at that point.
Yeah, there was as well. So unfortunately for John, it was a tough one because he had a really good race up to that point. And to be honest, let's bring him in the booth. Let's give John a welcome in. Good evening, John. How are you?
Stressed.
Stressed.
That was a very eventful race.
Oh, mate, you should watch it back. You should see it from our point of view. Dude, I want to say, look, you were doing so well, right? You were up there, and then you got caught up in the Fertile Cranstone incident, and you were just round. What were you thinking at that point? Because you must have been looking forward. Surely you weren't looking in your mirrors at the point where your back end decided to come round with some help.
No. At the time, I was thinking, so close. No, I don't know. I was just thinking I couldn't believe I'd held Jake off for so long because, you know, he's a quick driver, is Jake, and he'd given me an awful lot of respect, I think, through some of those corners to for me to keep in front of him. But yeah, I was just impressed with how long I'd managed to stay there. I'm just begging for that white flag to go, but no, I think Arthur just missed his braking point, hit the ABS, and hit Jake, who then hit me. I'd gone really deep into that corner anyway. I'd missed my braking point, but I was still going to make it round. Little did I know.
Do you know the thing is as well, and I'm gonna point this out to you. If you were literally about 3 or 4 inches further in front, you wouldn't have been caught up in that. Like, it was a matter of inches that you got caught, John.
It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. But never mind. It's all good racing. It's all good racing. I had a bit of a little thing at the end. I don't know how many incident points that gave me, but like the lap after, I got one off track and I had a drive through, which is 17 points. So I know I'd got hit once up the back on like lap 2 or something, but other than that, I thought it was pretty clean. But no, obviously not.
Well, we've recorded you as having 12 off tracks, plus your 4 incidents. That would have given you 16. Oh, your 2 incidents, 12. Yeah, 8. You would have ended up with 20x. Did you finish on 20x?
I think I did finish on 20x. Towards the end there, I think I got a couple on that last lap, just trying to get past Alex. But yeah, in the end, I just had to be very careful. But yeah, I come across the line and said, look, nobody hit me, because otherwise I'll be disqualified.
Please leave me alone.
yeah, quickly gonna get out of here without going off track.
Oh dear, but dude, that was absolutely epic. I love that, and the reaction at the moment you went round involved in that incident, I was just gutted. But
they're just a pair of bullies. That's all they are. Yeah,
they're bullies, mate. You got your lunch money stolen, and then Arthur run off with your lunch, little rascals.
Arthur did remind me that I a very long time ago in a fun TCR fun race, I give him a little nudge of encouragement, and he went off track. So he's remembered that whole time and said, "Yeah, well, I owed you one." So,
well, you can go back and say, "Look, mate, it was inches. If I was 2 inches quick in front of you, I wouldn't have got caught up." But John, it's been an absolute barnstorming pleasure having a chat with you, mate.
Cool. You too, mate. I'll catch you later.
Yeah. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave this evening?
Well, everybody who's turned up tonight. Obviously, it's towards the end of the season, so numbers usually start dropping off. But we've had a really good turnout. I'm really pleased. And everybody who signed up for the TCR as well. We are at capacity now.
Yeah, so
cars. The TCR 38 now.
Would you stop sneaking them in? How much work do you want me to do on a Friday night?
Ryan Dudley has come at the last minute, and obviously he's a regular, so we've got to let him in. But there should be 38 with Ryan, and then we're not letting any more in now.
Oh, that's good.
We need some room left.
Yeah, there was voting for Ryan Dudley for driver of the day for race 2 because he made 13 places.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We better let him in the TCR, haven't we? So.
You better let him in. But there you go, John. But look, pleasure as always, mate. I've got Fraser waiting for me, so I'll let him go. But dude, you take care. Have a great week, mate.
See you again, mate. See you.
See ya. Well, there you go. That was John Brown into the booth. But we have brought in your race 2 winner, Mr. Fraser Garrity. Good evening, Mr. Garrity. I almost said good morning then, but good evening, Mr. Garrity. How are you, sir?
A bit sweaty again.
Yeah. It was getting close towards the end, wasn't it?
It was getting very close with Eric on the last lap. I had to go defensive down the pitch straight, but luckily I managed to hold it. So quite a fluky win, if I'm honest.
No. Just put it down to skillful driving.
I'd love to, but let's say the big accident helped.
Oh, mate, yeah, there was a complete chaos. But then you missed the action behind you as well. There was absolute chaos going on behind you with it all. And, it was a bit of an eventful race too, I've got to be honest. Now, you got yourself caught up in an incident in race 1 as well, I believe.
I believe I got tapped from behind. It was just one of those incidents. It's T1. And I think, I haven't checked the replay yet, but I think it gave me damage because the car just didn't feel the same after that.
Yeah. Well, if it's any consolation, you were one of 6 others. You were one of 7 others that joined into that incident in turn 1. In race 1, it was literally like an absolute parking lot, I've got to be honest. But look, overall though, yeah, you're sweaty. Yeah, you're worn out. But it was a good race. We loved it up in the booth here. We had an absolute banging time with it. Onwards and upwards, 2 weeks' time, the season finale. How do you feel about the track?
I'll be honest, same as this one. Haven't driven it yet. Well, not in iRacing anyway, so don't know what car I'm going to be using. Might go back to the Merc, might stick with the Porsche. We'll see. Start doing some practice and see what we can put together.
Okay. Well, let's see what we can see what happens with you in 2 weeks' time then, Fraser. But look, mate, absolutely stunning win in race 2. So well done. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
Obviously, John and Dan for putting the league on. It's been a great league. Everybody else taking part. Without them, obviously, it's not a league.
No, definitely not. But Fraser, thank you so much for joining me, and possibly having a chat with you in a couple of weeks' time.
Hopefully, I'll speak to you soon.
Take care, mate.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Right, I wonder if we can get Jake and Arthur in together. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly. I so wanted to see the rivalry that was a showdown between both of these events, of course, we had this evening, because they battling it out for P1 and P2, and then, of course, they were battling it out for potential podium. I'd have to say they got close enough to it, and then it all went pearl-shaped. That's at the expense, of course, of some of the other drivers around it. We just spoke to John Brown,
Yeah,
etc., etc. But tell you what, James, it seems like it's an absolutely fantastic league here as SRL, because drivers are, even though they're grinding it out and they're racing it out, they have a smile on their face at the end of the day.
Yeah, they definitely do. And I think that's going to be the interesting thing is when they turn around and say 38 drivers for the TCR. Oh, both Jake and Arthur have left.
I was just feeling for your poor computer, mate. That's going to be crunching some of those cars as you start getting into the 30s and 40s.
It's all right,
or
mate.
broadcasting. You're going to need a nuclear reactor to power that machine.
It's got the capacity. It will be fine. Right, guys. Unfortunately, Jake and Arthur have both left, so we're not able to get a chat with them in the booth. But it's such a bit of a shame. But look, that is it. Rounding out this action from the SRL GT4. Don't forget for joining us for an 38 car grid for the TCR next Friday at the Red Bull Ring as well. Don't forget to give the video a big old thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the bells for notifications, because you're not going to want to miss any of this action that we've got coming up as well. Guys, that's it from myself and Mr. Dean Biggles this evening. So from us here up in the booth, you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.